The hits keep coming in college football as Dan Mullen was fired over the past couple of days at the University of Florida. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. You are watching College Football Now by Chat Sports, and the Florida job is the latest to open up as Mullen, well, his time came to an end in Gainesville after that 24-23 loss in overtime against the University of Missouri. He finishes 34-15 in 4 seasons at Florida, which in a vacuum is pretty good, but in his last 11 games against Power 5 competition, he went 2-9. That ain't going to cut it down in Gainesville, and that is why Dan Mullen had to go, because things unraveled so quickly for Mullen at Florida. After that loss to LSU in 2020 where Marco Wilson, the safety, threw the shoe and they lose that game and then they stumble down the stretch, and then this year they lost a bunch of close games, it's just the discipline of the program was starting to slip and the losses were piling up. And so now Florida has opted to make a coaching change. So before I get to 10 candidates that could replace Mullen at the University of Florida, we'll ask you guys, and this of course will be the pinned comment on today's video. Who should be the next head coach at Florida? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Reply to the pinned comment during this YouTube ad break, and after the YouTube ad break, the video will be back up and playing with 10 potential candidates. All right, 10 potential replacements for Mullen. We have to include Urban Meyer at number 10, the head coach of the Jaguars. Obviously, the last time Florida was really elite is when Urban was there and won 2 national titles. Let me be clear, I do not believe this will happen. There's not really much buzz at all around Urban and Florida, but you have to include him anytime you're talking about Florida opening up, because he's probably, in terms of outside of Steve Spurrier, the most successful coach in school history. So I think if Florida wants to try and reach out and see if there's any interest there, maybe they will, but I do not think that this will happen. I think Urban will stay in Jacksonville, but he has to be included on this list. So what do you guys say? Let's just pretend it's a world in which Urban would love to come back. Should Florida bring him back? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section. Should the Gators bring back Urban Meyer if he's interested? At number 9, a name that has slowed down a little bit in college football circles, Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. A lot of people believe he will be in the mix for some NFL head coaching jobs, perhaps the Cincinnati Bengals, to go coach his former quarterback, Joe Burrow. We'll see. He's a little lower on this list, but I think he'll be a head coach either in college or in the NFL in the near future. How about Matt Campbell at Iowa State? A lot of big jobs opened up. He's waited. He's been patient at Iowa State. He's not having his best year this year, but he's still a name that is hot in many circles. Maybe, just maybe, Florida is the job that he wants to get in the mix for. I think he was in the mix at LSU, but it looks like LSU is going to go in a different direction. At number 7, Mark Stoops, the head coach of Kentucky. Hey, you know what? When you beat Florida twice at Kentucky, that's doing something, and that's something that Mark Stoops has been able to do, whereas before he beat Florida a few years ago for the first time, Florida hadn't lost to Kentucky in like 31 years or something stupid like that. He's done a great job in Lexington. Can that translate to a blue blood like Florida? Maybe. Something Dan Mullen really struggled with, especially the past couple of years, is recruiting. He still had good recruiting classes, but not elite, not to the level of Bama, Georgia, and Clemson, Ohio State, and some of these other top programs. At number 6, Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator for Alabama. Obviously, Bama's got a really good offense again this year. He replaced Steve Sarkisian. I'm not crazy high on O'Brien, but he did some good things at Penn State after the Joe Paterno fiasco. Was a decent head coach for the Houston Texans, but then they put him in charge of player personnel, and that obviously fell apart. I like O'Brien, but I don't love him. I think Florida can do a little bit better, in my opinion. Now, today's presenting sponsor is BetUS, and if you want to get a 125% deposit bonus at the best sports book in the game and make some money all year long, follow these steps. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code CHAT125, and we've extended our jersey giveaway deal for another few days through Black Friday. So take advantage now. Go to chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. Deposit a minimum of $100. This is for new BetUS customers only. You'll get $125 for free. And then once you place a bet on any game for any amount, just email us, jersey@chatsports.com, and we'll hook you guys up with a brand new jersey, whether it's Jordan Authentic, Nike, depending on whatever team you want to get a jersey from. We got a ton available, so email us, jersey@chatsports.com, and we'll hook you guys up with a brand new jersey once you get your account going with BetUS. So follow those steps I mentioned and make some money and get a jersey. Okay, let's get to my top 5 of Dan Mullen replacements here. At number 5, Lane Kiffin, the head coach at Ole Miss. I think he'll be in the mix. I think there will be some interest. There's a lot of chatter that Kiffin would also have interest in the Miami job if that job ends up opening up. Depending on when you watch this, maybe that job already has opened up. I like Kiffin. I like his offense. He's a little bit immature, but I think he's matured a little bit more in recent years. And I think he fits modern college football with NIL, promoting players, all of that good stuff. So I think that could make some sense. How about this? This has been a wild coaching carousel, and it's just getting going. What is the best job? Because all these 3 jobs are open right now. If you think it's Florida, type UF. If you think it's LSU, just type LSU. If you think it's USC, type USC. I think I would rank them like this: LSU 1, Florida 2, USC 3, but you could make arguments for all of them. So I want to hear from you guys. Debate me in the comments. Best job out of these 3. Top 4 we go. Mario Cristobal, the head coach at Oregon, who grew up in Miami, played for the University of Miami. I think he'd be able to recruit down there, which is something that Mullen lacked. I think another thing Mullen lacked, especially the last couple of years, is discipline. Cristobal preaches discipline. Now, obviously, Oregon just had an ugly loss to Utah, but he's done a good job out there in the Pac-12, kind of restabilizing that program for the Ducks. I think if he wants to get one of these bigger jobs, he'll be in the mix. Maybe Florida could be the job for him. At number 3, Billy Napier. There's a lot of chatter here, a lot of flight tracking season rumors that Florida went to visit Napier earlier this week. Can't confirm that at this time, but here's what we do know about Billy Napier. He wants to be a head coach in the SEC. I believe, from what I've heard, long-term, he wants to be Nick Saban's replacement at Alabama. He coached under Saban, also coached under Dabo Swinney. On the surface, hiring the University of Louisiana coach feels weird if you're the University of Florida, but he's been in the mix for LSU. I think Florida's interested in him, and he has that pedigree of coaching under 2 legends in Saban and Swinney. Plus, you add this: 3 10-win seasons in 4 years at the University of Louisiana with no resources. What could he do at Florida? I think there's a lot of potential for Napier if he makes that jump. Would you be okay with hiring Billy Napier from Louisiana? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Get your thoughts in on that one. I would. I don't know if he'd be my number 1 guy. Stay tuned for who that could be in just a moment. At number 2, Luke Fickell, the head coach of Cincinnati. He's kind of in that Matt Campbell category, but probably a notch higher, where he's been patient, he's waited, but he's proven that he's one of the best player developers in the country. What he's done with Cincinnati the last couple of years, he's got them on the verge of the college football playoff. It would be the first year a Group of 5 program made the CFP in the current format. I think he's tremendous. I think he's a hell of a leader. I think that he has positioned himself very nicely to have some opportunities at a major Power 5 job like Florida. At number 1, Bob Stoops. Now, this list is kind of a combination of what the buzz we're hearing, what I think would make sense, and everything I'm hearing is that not necessarily Stoops is chomping at the bit to take this job, but that Florida will reach out and it could be his job to lose. Now, Stoops is having a good time at Fox Sports. He loves the University of Oklahoma. And does he want to go take a different job? Obviously, he was the defensive coordinator under Steve Spurrier at Florida way back when, before he got the Oklahoma job, so there is that connection there. Can you convince Bob Stoops to return to coaching? That, if you can, I think he's the hire here. Now, if I put a percentage on it, will Bob Stoops coach in 2022? I'd probably put it at like 20 to 30%. I'm not super high on that likelihood. I think he's comfortable with what he's doing currently. But if he wants to return, I think he's got a really good shot at the Florida job. So it'll be very interesting to see how things break down over the next couple of days. Who should be the next head coach at Florida? We asked you earlier. We'll ask you again. Remember, this is the pinned comment on today's video. So go on down, scroll down, let us know who you want as the next coach at the University of Florida.